Greetings and blessings to you all. May the living spirit that is in our life come forward and bring you peace. For we know that everyone can use peace these days. We wish to talk to you today about two things. Firstly, we wish to address the subject of the heart, the path of the heart. We also regard this path as the path of the spiritual warrior. However, because there's an association with the warrior as to do with warlike activity and behavior, and the association with the samurais and with those that fight, even if it is on behalf of justice and truth and freedom, still, we like to focus on the energy of the spiritual warrior as being one who doggedly follows the path of the heart in all circumstances. And in this time that you are in, this huge transitional period in your lives, in the life of the world, in the life, in fact, of the galaxies and the cosmos, you are at a place of choosing. You have the option of choosing to always go back to the heart or to default to the easy path of following the head, following the mind, of following that path. We call it the left-hand path. It is associated with the mental. It is associated with technology. It is associated with doing. And it is also associated with the discernment that often and almost always forms itself around the subject of judgment. We wish to speak to you about this because at this time, it is vital for you to choose the heart in every situation before you make a decision or when dealing with a difficult situation. We know that many people on this planet at this time are losing loved ones, are facing financial challenge, health challenge, and the onslaught of many negative energies that are being directed at you through technology, through the ethers, the waves of Wi-Fi, the electromagnetic pulses and radiation that is arriving in your home, in your pocket, and in your physicality. And so it is important to be able to understand that essentially you are under attack. You are being attacked by tremendous force of negativity, of harm, of violence, of negative thinking, judgment, of negative emotions like anger and hatred, of jealousies, and of a sense of disempowerment that is intentional and that has been working against you for thousands of years by the forces that choose and wish to control you completely, and in fact are working their agenda at this point to ensure that you become enslaved and addicted to the technologies and to the ability that they have through this technology of your cell phones, your Wi-Fi, your computers, to activate negative impulses in you through the video games, through the music that is broadcast with many negative and subliminal dark messages that cause people to lose their own ability to steer themselves according to the compass of their heart, and instead are drawn to do things that they would never in their right mind even consider. But this negative impulse is constantly bombarding you from the media and from the video games and all the other violence that is being seen in movies. And most of this is being watched at home, in your own environment, on your telephones and on your screens, be it your computer or your television. And if you do happen to still be reading books, many of the books have much violence in them, and many of the very popular comics have a strong foundation of violence. So we wish you to understand how important it is to always be observant, to always be discerning about everything that is told to you or everything that is broadcast towards you in your media and from your friends, from your peers, and even from your authority figures, for they too are subject to the same attack, the same incursion into their free will, and the same psychological, you might call it propaganda, that is focused on harm, on demeaning others, of judging and separating, and of controlling for the sake of power and greed. And all the wonderful things that you can buy with all the money that you have will not bring you happiness, will not bring you peace of mind, and it certainly will not bring you peace of heart. And so it is extremely important to be scrupulous in discerning what is good for you and what is not good for you. And the true organ of perception that allows you to understand, to intuit the truth of what is good for you and what is not good for you is the organ of your heart. For your heart is far more than a pump. In fact, it is not really even a pump, because the pressure of the blood is circulated around your body through the movement of your limbs and through many other factors. And your heart is actually less of a pump than it is an organ that controls much of your biology. It controls more of your biology than does the brain, even though the brain is connected to all of the nervous systems and the immune system. The heart is, in fact, the key to your survival as a species and to your individual survival in a world that is very inimical to your well-being. The exposure that you have to the toxins that are being spewed into the waters, into the air, into the soil, and that is completely in your food. If you do not eat healthy, locally grown or organically grown food, especially fruit and vegetables, and you have a diet that is made up of sugar and sodas and processed foods from fast food restaurants, from the supermarket shelves, where you don't bother necessarily to even look at the ingredients, and you find a long list of chemicals and additives and essentially poisons, denatured foods that do not have any nutritional value to them. And so it is for this reason that many are dependent upon a medical system that is also harmful, that does not take into accord the whole person, that does not address the underlying causes, but only looks at symptoms and uses pharmaceuticals in order to suppress these symptoms, and in order to make very, very many millions and billions of dollars, all at your expense. So we encourage you to find ways to express, to open up your hearts, to express your love, your caring, your sharing with your loved ones, with your friends, your neighbors, and to allow yourself not to be deceived by the propaganda that is directed towards you through the media, through the internet, through your dependency upon these external forces like your cellular phones, your technology that, although it gives you the ability to do miraculous things that you never before would have imagined, it still is addictive, and it binds you to the dependency on the big brother energy that is watching over you, that is monitoring your every word, your every purchase, monitoring your color preferences, your style preferences, and monitoring your conversations. Whether your phone is switched off or not, the intelligence behind this nefarious kind of technology is constantly working to absorb data from you and from your life in order to know how to control you better, and also to know how to create of you a blind consumer or a blind producer of goods and services that only serve these masters. We call them masters not because they are evolved, but because they are the ones who carry the whip. They are the ones who have control. And they are the ones who are directing even the way you think. There are many susceptible young people who are pushed towards violence and negative thinking about themselves, so that they eventually, there is a great increase in the number of suicides because of this influence that they have upon you to implant into your mind ideas and thoughts and actions that a sane person would never even consider in terms of harming another or harming oneself. And many people do not know what to do. Many are ignorant that this is going on all the time. Now, the other thing that seems to be somewhat of a corollary to this subject, we wish to talk to you a little bit about the children, because you have what you might call epidemics. First of all, you have an epidemic or pandemic of fear. And this pandemic of fear is still at work, sending people off to get shots of various kinds that contain very negative and harmful substances within them. Also contains technology within them that has the ability to control you and has the ability to influence your mind, your mood, and also to actually harm your biology, so that you become more and more dependent on the medical system, the pharmaceutical system, and in fact, you are also very much dependent on this global medical industrial military complex that is also functioning in your world and creating great havoc, also creating very much of an energy of fear, of control, and of domination and power over. And so it is the young people that are the future. And we wish to address the idea that there are those particular ones that are what you call them on the spectrum, or the autistic ones. And there is a man called William Stillman who has written books about the young ones like this and has been able to understand that, in fact, especially these children who are autistic, that they, in fact, are only protecting themselves from all of these onslaughts, the noise, the violence, the chaos. And so they have withdrawn into their shells, but only because they are highly sensitive, highly evolved beings. They have actually come here to teach. They have come here to create the models for the new earth. And they have come here to remind you of the path of the heart. Because the path of the heart is that path of sympathy, of compassion, the understanding of equality, the understanding of the interconnection of all life. And these young ones are very tuned into this. And in fact, when they meet somebody who does not have judgments about them or does not think that there's something wrong with them, they are able to have a very intelligent and beautiful exchange in conversation, especially with this man, William Stillman, who has demonstrated that he could sit down next to somebody who has barely communicated with anybody in his family and who is completely judged for his inability to communicate. And he has had the most intelligent and beautiful exchange of conversation that you would not have imagined was possible. The way that you see these children as something wrong with them, as being judged and needing to be put in institutions or needing to be put outside of normal society. And so it's very important, as we have said before, that you monitor your judgments and that you come from the heart, because these children understand the path of the heart. They understand and know and feel the truth that emanates from your vibration, from your aura, when you approach them, just as an animal knows that you fear them. And therefore, when you approach them with fear, it triggers them to have a response, perhaps of anger or violence towards them, because that is what you are broadcasting. However, when you come to an animal or a creature in nature and your mind is calm and you have absolutely no fear that they are going to harm you, if you see a snake, your immediate reaction might be to jump back. However, you understand that if this snake has no intention to harm you and you have no fear of it, you can stand still and observe it. And it will not be drawn to want to harm you in any way, because it will not feel threatened. And this is the essence that we wish to impart to you, that to threaten somebody energetically, through your aura, through your mind, and even through your emotional body, will elicit a response from them of being defensive or even going on the attack, because they already feel threatened and not safe from you. So we are encouraging you to develop that sense of inner peace, that sense of tranquility, of equanimity. We encourage you to go to nature, to experience the true energy of the forest, of the woods, of the desert, of the streams and the breeze, perhaps the sun, the greenery, and feel that you have another place where you can go away from technology, without your cell phone, in an environment that nurtures your soul, that nurtures your spirit, and that nurtures your heart. The energy of the heart is the energy of green. which is the energy of nature. And we teach the importance of establishing a pillar of light in which you call down the golden light energy from above, from the guidance realms, from the angelic and the realms of your ancestors, that pours down into you with healing energy, and it goes down through your crown and into your cells and into your chakras and fills your heart. And then we also encourage you to feel that strong sense of connection with Mother Earth, with the soil, for there is a kind of a light within the darkness of the soil, within that blackness of shungite, within the blackness of the soil. There is a nurturing energy that feeds the trees and the plants, and that provides you with the nourishment that you need. And in some ways, you can see this also as the green energy rising up from Mother Earth through the red of the root, through the orange of the sacral, and through the yellow color of the sun, of that solar energy of your solar plexus. And this green energy rises up into the heart as the golden energy pours down, and there they mix. And within that heart of yours, you have the ability to establish that linking between heaven and earth, between your divine spark, your angelic being, your star being, that stardust that you are made of, and then the dust of the earth and the energy of Mother Earth and the creatures and the elements, the water, the soil, the air. And you bring them up and you mix them together in your heart, and then you feel the peace through the breath, that deep breath. And as you breathe in, you let go of everything else. And you let that heart energy expand and create around you a sphere of golden white light. And that golden white light can protect you. It is like a bubble. It is like a sphere, a shell that keeps you protected and safe from the harmful inroads of this negative and dark energy that is constantly bombarding you and trying to control you and surveying you all the time. And so you create this morphogenic field around you that is connected to the morphogenic field of life itself. For this other kind of energy is anti-life, anti-life. It is the energy of live spelled backwards. It is called evil. However, within the mind of God, there's only love. And love is the power that comes from the heart. And so when you emanate love, when you emanate that light of healing energy directed outwards from your heart through this membrane that surrounds you, through this golden sphere, it is a semi-permeable membrane. It allows the light and the love and the energy of God to enter and penetrate into the depths of your being. And it allows that light to radiate out from you through that membrane to touch the hearts of those you love and send that love, send the light out to those who are trapped in fear, darkness, in worry, or in great pain. And so you become the lighthouse, and you become the energy of compassion, the energy of love, which we have defined many times as non-judgment, as allowing each one to be just the way they are, because each one has their own blueprint. Each one has their own direction. Each one is guided by their own commitment to come here and become a light. And those who have forgotten perhaps will be reminded by the light that you radiate out. We have spoken enough with you for today. We will soon be embarking upon teaching some courses. The course will be called The Path of the Heart. And we will weave together very practical wisdom for how you can attain the state of peace, how you can find ways to open your heart if it has been closed, and how you can begin to work with the energy of the heart, with the energy of the spiritual warrior, of impeccability, the energy of being always examining everything and only deciding for yourself what is your truth, so you are not influenced by all the authority figures who think they know everything. And so we leave you with a mantra that we like very much and use ourselves, with this one here, constantly. And it may not be that you have an affinity with the Christ itself, but you can substitute for that whichever word you like. But we like to begin each day by saying, the love of the Christ fills my heart and soul, body and mind. The love of God fills my heart and soul, body and mind. Your will be done, God, not mine, in me and through me. Show me what I must do this day. And let me be a blessing to all. Let me be a channel of God's love, of God's blessing. You may configure these kinds of mantras in whatever way you like. However, the understanding that when you say these things, they have an impact on your whole being. And it is important every day to reinforce the idea, the understanding, and the deep knowing that you are, in essence, the expression of God's love. For everything is made of God's love. Everything that exists was created through the agency of God's love. And we love you. We call ourselves the voice of God because we know that God is within, not outside. And so the voice of God is the voice of love. Blessings and peace to you. May the living spirit that is in all life bring you peace, equanimity, composure, and bring you a deep sense of fulfillment. Thank you.